My name is Misty C. Mosier, and I'm 29 years old. Until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I had a steady job in logistics management, a quiet apartment downtown, and a boyfriend named Ryan Keller, who I truly believed I was going to marry. Ryan and I had been together almost 4 years. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, the kind of night where you don't expect anything important to happen. He made me laugh near the snack table, asked for my number before I left, and within 6 months, we were living together. He worked as a paralegal at a mid-sized firm downtown. We were not rich, but we were comfortable. We split rent, planned vacations we never took, and talked about the future like it already belonged to us. Last Christmas, we even looked at rings together. He pointed out this simple silver band with a dark stone in the center, and joked that he did not need anything flashy. I laughed, but 2 days later, I went back alone and asked about financing options. I was not planning to propose immediately, but I wanted to be ready. That is the part that still makes me feel sick. While I was quietly preparing for forever, he was already preparing his way out. The night everything blew up was supposed to be happy. My cousin Marcus was throwing an engagement party at his house in the suburbs. It was beautiful in that polished adult way I always found intimidating. Professionally landscaped yard, warm lights strung over the patio, music coming from outdoor speakers, about 40 people drifting between the living room and kitchen with drinks in their hands. Ryan had been strange all week. Distant, snippy, always on his phone, always saying work was crazy. He told me his boss was pressuring him about deadlines and that he had to stay late 3 or 4 nights. I even offered to bring him dinner one night, but he said he would grab something from the deli downstairs. I believed him, because love makes you generous with explanations. We arrived around 7. For the first hour, everything seemed normal enough. I was near the kitchen island talking with Marcus and a few friends when Ryan walked up with a glass of wine in his hand. His face was flushed, and I could tell he had already had more than one drink. "Can we talk?" he said. His voice was too loud. Marcus stopped mid-sentence. "Sure," I said carefully. "What's up?" Ryan looked around, almost like he wanted people to notice. "I'm serious, Misty. We need to talk about us." A cold feeling moved through my stomach. "Okay, let's go outside." "No," he snapped. "I'm tired of pretending." The room began to quiet. Marcus's fiancée Jennifer looked over from across the room, her smile fading. Ryan lifted his chin and said, "You could never be a good wife. I'm not going to marry you." The silence after that sentence felt physical, like the whole house had inhaled and forgotten how to breathe. I stared at him, waiting for the apology, the explanation, anything that would make him look like the man I knew, but his eyes were hard. Cruel almost. He looked like he wanted me to break in front of everyone so he could call my reaction proof. I did not give him that. I picked up my jacket from the chair near the door and walked out. Behind me someone whispered, "What just happened?" Then the room filled with low, hungry murmurs. I drove home in silence. No music, no calls. Just my hands shaking on the steering wheel and the streetlights sliding across the windshield. When I reached our apartment, I sat on the couch in the dark for nearly an hour, replaying every word, trying to find the moment I had missed. Then my phone buzzed. It was Rachel, one of Ryan's close friends from college. "Do you even know what happened after you left?" I stared at the message before typing, "What?" 3 dots appeared immediately. "Can I call you?" 5 seconds later, my phone rang. Rachel sounded strained, like she had either been crying or trying not to. "Misty, I don't know how to say this, but you need to know. After you left, Ryan broke down. He started crying and saying he didn't mean it, that he was scared. But that's not the worst part." My voice barely came out. "What's the worst part?" She hesitated. I could hear party noise behind her. "Jenna was there, Marcus's younger sister. You know her, right?" I did. Jenna Keller. 26, worked in finance, always overdressed, always laughing too loudly at Ryan's jokes. She was also Ryan's ex-girlfriend from before we met, though he had always told me there was nothing left between them. Ryan has been seeing her for at least 2 months, Rachel said. The room tilted. What? I didn't know. I swear. But after you left, Jenna put her arm around him, and he leaned into her like it was natural. Then I heard her say, "You said you were going to end it clean. This wasn't the plan." I stopped breathing. Rachel continued softly. I confronted him in the bathroom hallway. He admitted it. He said it started at a work event in September. Misty, I'm so sorry. I looked around the apartment Ryan and I had built together, and suddenly every wall felt like a lie. After Rachel hung up, I sat there in the dark with my phone in my lap, feeling like the apartment had shifted into some place I no longer recognized. Every framed photo, every blanket on the couch, every coffee mug in the sink suddenly looked staged. Like I had been living inside a set built by someone who knew the ending before I did. Then, something in me went cold and clear. I opened my laptop and logged into our shared bank account. Ryan and I had set it up 2 years earlier for rent, utilities, and groceries. It was supposed to make life easier. A practical step for two people building toward marriage. At first, the transactions looked normal. Rent, electric bill, internet, groceries. Then I saw a charge I did not recognize. Provisions. $180. It was an upscale restaurant downtown, the kind Ryan always said was too expensive when I suggested it for anniversaries. 3 weeks later, there was another charge. $210. Then a hotel charge from a boutique place 15 minutes from our apartment. $340. That weekend, Ryan had told me he was helping his firm prepare documents for a Monday filing. I took screenshots. All of it. 11 charges total. Restaurants, ride shares, hotel rooms, little pieces of betrayal paid for with money from the account we used for groceries and electricity. I did not sleep. I sat at the kitchen table until sunrise, laptop open, coffee untouched, staring at proof that made every lie feel heavier. At around 6, 0 inches the morning, the front door opened. Ryan stepped in quietly, still wearing the same clothes from the party. His hair was messy, his eyes red, and for one stupid second, my heart remembered loving him before my brain reminded it what he had done. He froze when he saw me. "We need to talk," I said. He dropped his keys on the counter and crossed his arms. "I know I messed up last night. I was drunk, and I didn't mean it like that. How long have you been sleeping with Jenna?" All the color left his face. "What?" "Don't lie to me. Rachel told me, and I found the bank statements." I turned the laptop toward him. His eyes moved over the highlighted charges, and the last bit of performance drained from his body. His shoulders sagged. "It just happened," he whispered. 2 months doesn't just happen, Ryan. 2 months is a choice. He rubbed his face. I was confused. You and I have been together so long, and everything started feeling predictable. Jenna made me feel alive again. I didn't know what I wanted. "So you humiliated me in front of 40 people because you were bored?" "That's not fair." "No," I said, standing now. "What's not fair is that I was looking at financing options for a ring while you were using our shared money to book hotel rooms with your ex-girlfriend. That broke something in his expression. Maybe guilt. Maybe fear. Maybe just the realization that I had receipts." He started crying. "Misty, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Can we just slow down and talk about this?" "There's nothing to talk about. I want you out by the end of the week." His head snapped up. "This is my place, too." "The lease is in my name. You moved in after I had already been here a year. Check the paperwork if you need to." He stared at me like I had slapped him. "You're really throwing me out? You threw us away the moment you went back to Jenna. I'm just making it official." Ryan moved out 4 days later. He tried to take things that belonged to me before we ever met. The coffee table, the bookshelf, even the expensive blender my mother gave me for my birthday. But I had receipts saved in a folder on my computer. Every time he reached for something, I opened another file. The move was cold and mechanical. His parents came with a U-Haul on Saturday morning. His father avoided looking at me. His mother gave me a pitying expression, like I was being cruel by refusing to let her son keep living inside the life he had poisoned. I did not explain myself. 2 days after Ryan left, Jenna texted me. 5 long paragraphs about how sorry she was, how she respected me, how she never meant for things to go this far, and how she hoped this would not ruin my relationship with Marcus. I read the first few lines, deleted it, and blocked her. Marcus called that night. I heard pieces, he said, but I want to hear it from you. So I told him everything. The party, Ryan's public speech, Rachel's call, Jenna, the bank charges, the hotel. Marcus stayed silent until I finished. Then he exhaled slowly. Misty, I'm sorry. Jenna is my sister, but what she did was disgusting. I'm not defending her. I closed my eyes. Thank you. Jennifer already removed Ryan from the wedding party, he said, and Jenna won't be at the reception. She can come to the ceremony because my parents are pushing it, but that's it. Jennifer wanted her completely uninvited. It gave me a small, sharp satisfaction. Not healing, not peace, just proof that someone in that room understood I had not been the problem, but nothing could undo what happened. For the next 2 weeks, I lived like a ghost in my own apartment. I changed the sheets, moved the couch, took down photos, donated books Ryan left behind. I scrubbed the kitchen until my hands hurt because I needed the place to stop feeling like him. Then Ryan messaged me on Instagram. He said he had made the biggest mistake of his life. He said Jenna was not who he thought she was. He said what we had was real and asked to meet. I did not answer. I blocked him before he could turn desperation into another performance. A few days later, Tyler reached out to me. Tyler was a mutual friend, not dramatic, not someone who inserted himself into other people's disasters for entertainment. So when his name appeared on my phone, I knew whatever he had to say was probably real. You should know why Ryan is trying so hard to come back, he said. I sat down on the edge of my bed. I assumed Jenna got bored. Worse, Tyler said. Jenna was seeing someone else the entire time. For a second, I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because betrayal apparently had layers I had not even discovered yet. Who? I asked. Some woman from her office named Amanda. Ryan found texts on Jenna's phone. He confronted her, and she told him he was never supposed to be serious. She said he was fun, but Amanda was her actual relationship. I looked around my apartment, now half empty of Ryan's things, and felt the strangest calm settle over me. So he was her backup plan, I said. Pretty much. That should have made me feel victorious. Instead, it just made the whole thing feel cheaper. Ryan had destroyed 4 years with me for someone who had treated him like entertainment. He had stood in front of my family, my friends, my cousin's guests, and publicly humiliated me because he thought he was stepping into something better. He was not. He was stepping into the same kind of lie he had handed me. Tyler kept talking. He also got fired. That surprised me more. What? He'd been late a lot, missing deadlines. Apparently his boss had been patient for weeks, but then Ryan got into a screaming argument over a filing mistake. They let him go the next day. I closed my eyes. I remembered all those nights he claimed work was keeping him late. The deli downstairs, the deadlines, the tired voice on the phone. So many lies stacked on top of each other until the whole thing finally fell on him. He's been calling people, Tyler said, trying to get someone to convince you to meet him. Is anyone helping him? No. Rachel told him what he did was unforgivable. Marcus told him not to contact you through anyone connected to the wedding. Jennifer is furious. That mattered more than I expected. Not because I needed people to hate Ryan, but because for once, no one was asking me to be the bigger person. No one was telling me love was complicated. No one was asking me to swallow humiliation just so everyone else could stay comfortable. Marcus called again the next week. His voice sounded tired but firm. You're still in the wedding party if you want to be, he said. Jennifer and I both want you there. Jenna won't be at the reception. Ryan isn't welcome at all. I stared at the living room wall where a photo of Ryan and me used to hang. There was a pale square on the paint where the frame had blocked the sun. I'll be there, I said. After that, I started rebuilding in small, almost boring ways. I rearranged the furniture. I bought new sheets. I threw away the mug Ryan always used because seeing it in the cabinet made my stomach twist. I started going to the gym before work. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I needed my body to remember it belonged to me. Rachel checked in sometimes. She kept apologizing for not noticing sooner, but I told her it was not her fault. Ryan had been careful. Jenna had been careful. Lies do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they sit beside you at breakfast and ask if you want more coffee. I never confronted Jenna. I never confronted Ryan again. People asked if I wanted closure, but I had already gotten it. Closure was him saying I could never be a good wife in front of 40 people while hiding an affair with his ex-girlfriend. Closure was the hotel charge. Closure was the ring I never bought. The sapphire ring still crosses my mind sometimes. I think about myself standing in that jewelry store, asking about financing, smiling like a fool because I thought love was something you could prepare for if you just cared enough. But I do not hate that version of me. She was loyal. She was hopeful. She believed in someone who did not deserve it. That is not weakness. That is proof she knew how to love. 3 weeks ago, that party felt like the worst night of my life. Now I understand it differently. Ryan did not ruin my future that night. He exposed the future I needed to escape. He gave me the truth in the cruelest way possible, and somehow, that cruelty became mercy. I walked out before I became his wife. I walked out before our money, our names, and our lives were tied together legally. I walked out with my dignity shaking, but still mine. And when I think about Ryan now, unemployed, abandoned by Jenna, blocked by the woman he humiliated, I do not feel triumph. I feel relief. The apartment is quiet now, but it is mine. And for the first time in 4 years, so am I.